Hello everybody and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. So you join me today playing on Farming Simulator 22 on the Green Hills Estate map. I am playing the game with mods and I am also playing the game on the hardest setting, and as you can tell from the top right corner there, I don't have a great deal of money. Starting equipment wise, we've got this Massey Ferguson 185 and obviously this Kuhn rake. We've got a David Brown 1210 4-wheel drive with the front loader. We've got a Class Roland baler, a Richard Weston bale trailer, the Gowl bale wrapper. I couldn't think what it was called then. And yeah, this field, that crop field, and that's my farm. This is one of those maps where you have to sort of build everything yourself and do everything yourself. So it's not something that I would normally do, so I thought, well, you know, I've been saying for many years, let's do YouTube videos, and I thought, well, actually this probably isn't a bad place to start, mainly because I'm starting out for the first time, and you know, this map's sort of kind of in a way starting out for the first time because I'm going to have to do everything on the map to kind of get it how I want it. So it just seemed that the two fitted quite nicely together, so that's what we're doing. As I say, we're on the Green Hills Estate map. I am on the hardest settings, just because I don't want progress to be too rapid. I want the farm and everything to grow quite slowly. Just so as it has a little bit more sense of realism. I do play the game as realistically as I can. You know, it is a game. It is within their parameters of the way the game is built and the mods and everything, but you can play this game pretty realistically. So a little about me. My name's James. I'm 42 years of age. Due to ill health, I had to give up work about 5 years ago now. 5-6 years ago, and about 5-6 years ago started thinking about doing YouTube videos, and just didn't. Basically the fear of the unknown, basically not that competent when it comes to computers, and also it's kind of like, you know, when you look at the likes of Dagwin and Scroft and people like that, you just sort of think, I could never possibly, you know, compete with how good and professional those guys are. And then it's as I say, today, I don't know, I woke up and it was kind of like, I went on to Farming Sim website, looked for a new map, found this map, came on it, started cutting the grass, and while I was cutting the grass here, I just suddenly thought, well, actually, you know, this would be the perfect map to start my YouTube channel and Farming Sim life on, really, because as I say, you know, I have to start from the very beginning here, and as I do my channel. So as I say, 42, very little experience when it comes to computers and editing and stuff like that. And when I say very little, I mean none. You know, my working life background, from a farming background, my mum, my dad's dad, my mum's mum and dad, and my uncle all worked on farms in the local area where I'm from, which is a little village called St James, not too far from Spalding, out in the heart of the fens. And yeah, that's where I'm from. That's sort of like, you know, my history really. I started working on a farm in 2006, left school in 97, and then because of my heart condition that I have, I couldn't work for a few years, and then I had a couple of operations and procedures done, and thankfully then I was able to go out to work, and so I went out to work, worked on a farm. Although initially it wasn't a farm that I worked on, for my sins, I did about a year at Tesco's. A store opened in the area where I live, and decided that it was part-time. It would sort of test the water in terms of my health to kind of see how I got on. And once I realised that actually, I could manage fine, I then went to work there. And then farming is something I've always wanted to do. Found it very difficult to get into farming. Didn't have no college, didn't have no experience, and farms were basically saying, you haven't been to college, you don't have any experience, sorry, but no, I don't have the time to teach you everything you need to know about farming. And then in 2006, one day sat on my till, and had a brainwave. That's really all I can say about it, really. It's just kind of like sat there and thought, well, it had basically come on the back of another farm sort of rejecting me and saying, you haven't got no experience, blah, 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 And I just thought, well, I'll hire a tractor, I'll hire a plough, and this summer I'll go out onto farms free, and offer to do some ploughing for nothing, and see where it gets me. That summer I went to the first farm. I asked them, they agreed, which was astonishing because I wasn't expecting anyone to agree, but they agreed. I went there, and then 12 months, well, not quite 12 months later, probably about 10-11 months later, when one of their workers announced that they were retiring, they said to me, would you like to come and work for us? And so on August the 13th of 2007, my first ever day on the farm, as a full-time worker on a farm, and honestly I couldn't have been more thrilled. As I say, it had been a lifelong sort of ambition really to work on a farm, the same as my uncle and my granddad and my mum and my nan and what have you, and to have finally have achieved it against, in my dad's words, against all the odds and everyone telling me that I wasn't physically capable of doing it and everything like that. I was working on a farm, and the farm understood my physical condition and said that as much as they could, all of my jobs would be with that taken into consideration, which, as the years went by there, turned out not to quite be the case, but that's maybe some stories for another day. Got to keep you coming back, and so yeah, that's, as I say, I worked on a farm, so I started properly in 2007, and then 2016 was the last farm that I worked on, and that's when my health condition basically deteriorated beyond. It's now only getting worse as sort of days go by, unfortunately, until I get a heart transplant. Things are going to be quite slow and steady in my life, but yeah, so as I say, from 2016, been playing farming since 2009. Sort of thought, well, maybe I should get into this YouTube game, but I'm not the most overly confident of people, and sort of shied away from the unknown, shied away from what I didn't know, and and was sort of too afraid to get it wrong, and no one would watch me, and all of this business. And then today, as I say, I downloaded this map, and I just thought, sod it, I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it. And I'll put this video up either later today, maybe tomorrow, depending on time, the same as it is for everyone. and yeah, we'll go from there. So my intentions, as I say, are to play this map until I can't do no more on it. And then in terms of the channel, my hopes are that we will, obviously, as I sort of develop and get more confidence, get more following and more support, I would like to do some interactive series and let's plays and stuff like that, where you guys sort of tell me what you want to do on what map, and the way you want to play the game and the way that you want to that game to progress. I'll also be doing what I call a long-term series. On every farm sim that I've played, I've always had a map that I play on the long haul. Again, start from nothing. I start pretty much every game I start for myself. I start with nothing and build my way up. Although I realise that, as I say, with the interactive maps, you guys might not want me to start from that point, which is fine. I mean, as I say, that those save games will be sort of solely down to you. So I will start how and when you want me to, basically. I'm still playing 2019. I do have a long-term, well, I have two long-term games on 2019 that I've been playing for pretty much the time the maps came out. One is on Homeworld Farm, and the other one is on Taimonkawohu, I think the game, Gaspardo Taimonkawohu was, or words to that effect. I'm not very good with the pronunciations of them, unfortunately, yeah. So, but I've been playing those two maps long term. I would, if things look like they're going to sort of grow on the channel and the videos become so that they're quite sort of quite watched and stuff like that, I would like to do a Let's Play on 2019 as one of my long-term saves, where I would start again on Homeworld Farm, or I might continue it where it is, because I'm still in my first year on there at the moment. But as I say, it's going to be a long-term game, although I'm still in my first year, because I've only just discovered the map. Taimonkawohu was my long-term map. I've been playing that for about a year and a half, 2 years now, and I'm several sort of years into the game, it's been really challenging because everything on the map is super expensive, is super massive, and when you start off with machinery like this, it takes a long time. Given the circumstances that I've got the time to sit and do it, because farming sim's pretty much all I do all day. I do play a little bit of Euro Truck sometimes, just for a little bit of variety, and I do play R Factor as well. Moving forward with the channel, I would like to do some Euro Truck, and I would also like to do some R Factor and different things like that. But again, that sort of depends on whether they become popular or whatever sort of thing. So one step at a time, and this is the beginning of what I hope will eventually become a great channel, because not only will I be doing interactive save games on Farming Sim, whether it be 19, whether it be 22. I haven't got any of the other farm sim games still, mainly because my computer, although graphically is able to run the game on high settings, it doesn't have a huge amount of memory, and so I have had to get rid of those games. But I have kept 19 just because I loved my save game too much, I do love 19. I think 19 is my favourite farming sim version. I like 22, but like I say, auto drive and course play don't work as good as what they used to. Or I've never got on with auto drive, but course play isn't as good as what it used to be in the aspect of setting it up and doing courses and getting it to unload from the combine. I can't get none of that to work for whatever reason. I've watched all the tutorials, but in terms of my videos, yeah, I'll go back to it and I will retry and I will you know, make sure that stuff like that is set up, because it does make for some really realistic gameplay when you can see, you know, workers in the field and what have you. So I tend to play farming sim and farm on farming sim the way that I farmed in real life, so it means I do things my own way. It doesn't mean those ways are correct, it doesn't mean they're right, it just is the way I do it. And I'm a big sort of advocate of, if you find a certain way of doing things easy, then carry on doing it. You know, there's no point trying to do things other ways. I see some YouTubers and they frustrate me when I see them doing things, and it's not because they're wrong either, it's just their way of doing things compared to my way of things, and I just sort of think, well, actually in real life you wouldn't do it that way. And you know, as we go along, I will sort of show what I mean and explain why in real life you couldn't do it that way, even though I guess there probably are in the world people that do it that way in real life. But yeah, so as I say, we'll be doing things the way that I've always done them, just because that's how I've got used to playing farm sim, and I don't know any other way of doing it. So yeah, that's, as I say, that's an introduction about me a little bit. You know, feel free to ask questions and comment and subscribe and help me grow the channel. And you know, help me to go on to bigger and better things. It would be greatly appreciated, and I look forward to doing, you know, those things, and to doing those videos that we're all wanting, that I want to do and that you want to see. If things do go well, I do have basically for the last sort of few months I've been playing on a map that I think would be absolutely perfect for a proper farm sim series, as in the duration of the game until we move on to Pastures New, and also making it as much of a TV sort of series as I can, a bit like Emmerdale, but obviously not copying Emmerdale, but to sort of, you know, give you some sort of idea of what I'm trying to get across, or the Archers, or, you know, something like that. So where there's storylines, there's interactions, there's, you know, sort of everything that I think would make a really, really good farming sim YouTube series. Yeah, as I say, you know, with your guys' inputs and different things like that, we'll get other series and other things set up and going, and we'll be hopefully enjoying the journey and the way to go. I think that's probably enough of me rabbiting on for the first video. So thank you for watching. Thank you if you've subscribed. Thank you if you've commented. And look out for the next video, as this farm will hopefully move forward, and hopefully this channel will start to gradually pick up and move forward and stand on its own 2 feet too. But yeah, so thank you very much for listening, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.